Oi, you know what time it is? You're tuned in listening to Dry That Aussie Metal Guy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his content when it drops. And remember, stay brutal, you mad dogs. Roof!
G'day, how you all going? It's Dry That Aussie Metal Guy here with Crank.com. So tonight, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure that we're getting to have a chat with Mr. Tim Campey, the mastermind guitarist behind Australia's rising heavy music force, that is Ghostseeker. They did burst on the scene back around 2022 with their debut EP, which has massed nearly 1 million streams across major platforms since 2022 as well. Definitely building up a reputation built on your energetic live shows across Australia. And with the debut album Divergence due to drop April 25th through RPM Raw, we get to have a chat to you about all things Ghostseeker. Cheers for joining me, mate.
Thanks for having me, mate.
First off, man, for the uninitiated, I'm pretty keen to find out how this all started for you guys back when you kicked off, because you were all off in other bands, and then this come out, and I was kind of blown away by the sound of it all.
Yeah, well, we, like you said, we're all in other bands, but we're all friends with each other. Like prior to that, at one point or another, our bands would have played shows together here or there, and we just developed a friendship within the network. And then, yeah, the band that Celeste and I were in, Letters to Amara, it didn't break up or anything. Some of the members left, and we're like, okay, well, let's kind of see what else we can kind of do to change it up a little bit. And then, yeah, we reached out to Daniel Gay, the drummer, and then we got Cory Walkeden back in. So he was the original guitarist of Letters to Amara, so he came back on. And then we were like, oh, we need a screamer. We reached out to Daniel Breen, and we're like, oh, he said yes, sweet, sucker. And then, yeah, we linked up with Ione Heckenberg from Zanari Records and Ocean Sleeper. And, yeah, turns out we just worked really well together, all of us. Kind of got lucky there.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about working on that debut EP there, because did you expect that to kind of hit so hard? Because it just came out with a bloody bang, man.
We didn't know what to expect, because we went into it, we're just like, look, let's just do this for fun, and let's just see what happens. But then after recording it, that's when, because we recorded that back in 2019.
Yep.
And then obviously COVID happened. And then we got that little break in between lockdowns, and we got one music video done, and we're like, sweet, we've got something to release. And that's when the first single dropped. And then 3-4 lockdowns later, every single time there was a little break, we've got to film something. Let's go do a music video. And so that's why it took a while to release that EP. It was probably one of the longest release periods I've ever been a part of. But we just wanted to make sure it was done right.
Yeah, I spoke to a few bands out of Melbourne that had that same bloody problem, especially like a couple of bands I had chatted to that were like just kind of getting rolling, and that thing come in, and especially being in Melbourne, we were pretty locked down in Australia, but Melbourne was the most locked down fucking city in the world. So if you were going to do clips or anything, it was like, quick, let's go do this now. Or
yeah, then even when we went to do clips, there was restrictions on how many people you could have in the room at a time. So half of us were in one room filming, and the other half were outside in the cold, like freezing our ass off. It's fantastic.
I love the vocal contrast between Celeste and Daniel, man. Tell me a little bit about kind of how that goes with the creation of the songs and the duality, and how that influences your guitar work with the overall songwriting process.
Well, typically with the songwriting, the guitars come first.
Yeah.
So that every now and then, after we add drums and vocals and synths and whatnot, guitars do change up a little bit here and there, but typically vocals are kind of the very last thing added. So yeah, they don't really get a say. I write it, here you go, guys.
Yeah, well,
but no, but they do a really good job at making it work. Like if there's something that doesn't quite fit, they'll say, hey, look, can we change this, or can we drop the key on this, or change this, and we all make it work. We've got a very open conversation between all of us.
Yep.
So yeah, they make it fit really well.
Yeah, the interplay with you and Cory on guitars there is bloody unreal, and you can really feel that energy and chemistry between you both. Tell me a little bit about how that works with you collaborating and doing the songwriting, because you were in there first before everyone else, yeah?
Yeah, well, Cory and I have been friends for, God, over 10 years, 10, 15 years, something like that. And we've always been like pretty into the same bands and we go to the same shows, and we're the same person pretty much. Like we wear the same clothes, so it's weird. We don't even try. And then so whenever we're writing, we're on the same wavelength.
Yep.
And like Cory will start playing a riff and be okay, yeah, that's really cool. And then we'll just kind of feed off each other. And something that we found worked really well with that was Ione is very similar. Like he very similar like music influence, but he's just an absolute freaking wizard at what he does. Like everything that guy touches turns to freaking gold. And so it made it really easy for Cory and I to kind of come in and start writing like these ideas, and then Ione would add his like flavor to it as well. And that's really what became Ghostseeker.
Yeah, Divergence is an absolutely ripping album, man. I've only had a couple of days to kind of dive into it. I'm really, really enjoying it. Tell me a little bit about crafting this and a little bit about the themes and influences that kind of inspired you for this one, dude.
Yeah, we wanted to do something a little bit different, but same. That makes sense, because like I said, that first EP release was very drawn out, and we didn't really get like a massive chance to really push like this is Ghostseeker. So we wanted to keep things sort of similar, but we also wanted to make it a lot heavier than what the original stuff was. So we kind of went in, we found what tunings worked best with like Celeste's voice and what would sound really heavy, and then we got really lucky because there were tunings that we all really like, really low tunings. And then we did something a little different on this album where 70% of it's concept.
Yep.
Like we've got a bit of a running theme happening with like AI taking over, like this dystopian world, but done from the point of view of the people. Some of it's done as a point of view of people suffering, and the other part is done with the point of view of people like doing it.
Yep.
So kind of got two sides of that. And then there's a couple of songs just thrown in there that aren't concept at all. They're just cool songs we thought sounded really good.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the recording process for this.
Started with Ione. We went to Cory and I started with Cory and I at Ione's house, and we demo out heaps of songs, however many songs we could do in one weekend. And then that every weekend for like a month, Cory and I were back at Ione's house just seeing what would work. And then outside of the recording sessions, like Cory and I bouncing ideas to each other on Facebook like constantly. And then once we kind of got a solid foundation of stuff, we got like Dan came in and put the drums in, and then we had a bit of a production session with Ione with like all the synths and whatnot. Then once we had some solid like ground, solid songs, we then got Celeste and Daniel to come in and kind of put on the finishing touches, and then we'd go back in and then re-record everything properly.
Yep.
So it's not demoed.
So was it a better process this time around than the first EP, or?
It was a different process.
Yep.
So this one was definitely, so the EP, we had that written, every song music like instrumentally was written in 2 days.
Yeah.
And we went in really quickly, everything was written, everything was done. We had a bunch of songs we were really happy with, and then I think there's like one stage of lockdown or something happened, but we got Celeste Bojczuk in really quickly. Whereas the album, like Divergence, it's a bit different because we've been recording this for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like it's taken a long time for us to get it finished, and it's like we've had things come up through it, like Celeste had a baby, and like in between all that, so we had to try and change up how we record, with like get Celeste in as soon as possible, like before the baby comes, and then just find ways to make it work between everyone's busy schedule. But we finally got there.
Yeah, and then it would have been a lot better too, not knowing that you could go in and make these film clips and drop the one. Like you just dropped that one, Glow and Decay, I think a couple of hours ago. I think it was like 3 hours ago, dude. And that was a ripping track. So I'm glad you spoke with that one, dude. Tell us about that one.
We decided to try to be a bit more creative, or a bit creative with how we do things ourselves.
Yep.
So typically with all the music videos, we get I Hate Videos. That's Ione Heckenberg and Jaden Colvin. They've done all of our videos apart from 2. But we wanted to try, so we did Wake Up Imposter with them. They did that video, but we're trying to see what we can kind of do ourselves as well. We love their work. Their work is fucking amazing. But we want to learn how to do it and try to be as creative as possible. So we did the interment video ourselves, and we've done Glow and Decay ourselves. And yeah, we think we're definitely having a lot of fun with doing all that. I don't envy filmmakers by any means, because it's a tough freaking gig, man. It's a tough freaking gig. After the second one, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just let someone else trouble over this.
We've done it now. Handball this one off to somebody else.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Glow and Decay, we tried to play on things, like just do things we kind of haven't done before. Like, so the whole videos in black and white, apart from all the blues. And it's the theme of it is like a relationship gone wrong, but when two people are super toxic for each other. But then we tried to show like the extremes that can lead someone to take, which is the whole like Celeste drowning in the bathtub sort of thing. And then just like the overall theme of the song as well. And then obviously mixing in Ione's feature onto that as well.
That was cool, though.
Yeah, we got really happy with that. Big Ocean Sleeper fan, so I was super stoked that he said yes to doing the feature.
Yeah, and they're just about sold out that bloody tour all over Australia as well.
They are crazy. They do so freaking well, and it's like deserved, because they are fucking amazing.
Yeah, dude. And speaking of tours, you guys are on the road at the moment too, yeah?
Yeah, tomorrow we hit the road.
Yep.
So yeah, tomorrow we're on the road to play Sydney on Friday.
Yep.
And then we're back in Melbourne on the Friday. Oh, no, on the Saturday. Sorry, we're back in Melbourne for Saturday. And the week after that, we're playing Adelaide. On Saturday. And then the week after that, we're playing Brisbane.
Yeah, Fortitude Valley, the old area there. I grew up in Brisbane, but I now live down in South Australia. Been down here for many bloody years as well. And you guys are signed to RPM Raw, which is bloody amazing. Like, I think that's really cool. It's just good. It's just good to have that label behind you, and they've got some amazing bloody bands on there as well. And I was chatting to Valhalla the day as well, and just seeing Aussie bands kicking ass. I'm not a sporting person, but it's really good to see bands like yourself doing bloody well and signing to these labels. You know what I mean? And you do have this really great live reputation here in Australia, but you guys like planning on trying to push this out overseas, definitely, no doubt. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the dream. We absolutely love to do that. But it's just organizing something overseas is ridiculously hard for us anyway.
Especially America at this bloody moment.
Oh yeah, I'd love to just go over there and get tariffed on the way. It'd be fantastic. But yeah, we'd love to play overseas, especially Europe. Yeah, like Europe's where we want to end up.
Yeah, you absolutely do amazing over there. When fans are listening to Divergence, tell us a little bit about what that expect for the album and that.
For the entire album to not be one genre.
Yep.
That's what we've kind of wanted. Everything's there is a good mix of a lot of different genres in there. There's a lot of really fucking weird noises on that entire album, and some things, the way we recorded them was just freaking stupid, but they sounded cool. So it kind of worked. And then just a good kind of journey showcasing like a lot of the vocals, as we really wanted to focus on doing things differently with vocals. Like Celeste sings in a bit of a lower register than what she did on the EP.
Yep.
But then some of the songs Daniel sings as well. And we wanted to, because we were at practice once and we just heard him singing. We're like, what? Like, since when can you fucking sing? So we're like, all right, we've got to get you on here and do this. So yeah, we tried to really push him into it, and he did it. I think he did a really good job. People will be shocked, I think, when they hear it. 'Cause like it's always funny when you hear a screamer do clean vocals.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think he did a good job.
It goes really well, and the album, you can hear this little step up in you guys, like with this album as well, and that one done really well. So for anyone who's heard that and they're going to hear this, they're just going to be absolutely blown away about the evolution, because these 3 singles that have already come off are just kind of showcasing what you guys have going on. But every creative process kind of does have its hurdles. Were there any unexpected challenges or anything that he's going to come up with this album?
There was a bit of writer's block.
Yep.
That always happens. Every band goes through it. There were periods where we just could not for the fucking life of us figure out what a certain chorus should sound like. And I can't remember what the song was. I think it was the track Metempsychosis. We just could not figure it out. And then we kind of shifted how we played the guitars in that song to make the guitars a bit more melodic rather than just basic bitch chords.
Yeah.
So we that was probably a big one for myself. There's definitely, because obviously the EP was only like six songs, I think, whatever it was, but then this album being 10 songs, and then we've got to hit like a certain time mark on the song. And so there's a bit more pressure I found on my end. That was probably my biggest hurdles. And then just getting everyone available at the same time. That was probably another big one too.
Yeah, that's definitely a real bloody hard thing to do as well, considering we've all got bloody jobs and you can't just do this alone, you know what I mean? It's not like everybody thinks, I just play in a band and this is what I do. It's like, because everybody's too busy streaming and not buying albums now. You can't make a living on music, you know? You got to go to work and you got to have a 9 to 5. You got a family at home, so does make it really hard to kind of get you all in the bloody same room as well. Is there any tracks for you, man, that kind of are your favorite this week? Because I know for me, listening to whole albums, I've always got a new favorite track off of the album each week when I'm listening to it.
Since day one, my favorite, so this is before even we decided which song Ione was going to feature on. My favorite was Glow and Decay. It was just my favorite to play. He's my favorite to record. And then once Ione put his vocals into it, I was just like, there's no song is going to top this for me. And then the very last song on the album, The Prototype, really like that too, because that's really showcases Breeny's singing. And I think that just has a really strong ending and a very sweet melodic Celeste part at the end too. So I think that's just a perfect way to end the album. And so probably those two songs. And then and Wake Up Imposter. Yeah. Because I really like the breakdown in that song.
Dude.
Stupidly low.
Mention The Prototype, dude, because I was thinking that was literally the last track I played the album just before I jumped on with you, and then I heard that and I'm like, man, this is a really, really cool closer. He's obviously put some thought into it, and you know, to make a whole album, it's really cool to hear bands still bloody doing that and putting that effort into it, and the way they listed the tracks and the way they play it out. He's obviously put some thought into that, because as that ended, I was like, dude, this is a perfect way to end the album.
We got really lucky with that last part, because that was one of the songs where we couldn't figure out how to end the song.
Yep.
And we're like, we know we wanted that song to be towards the end of the album, because it's a bit of a surprise with like Breeny singing and doing the whole pitch cream stuff, the whole Sam Carter architectsy sort of thing. But then when Celeste went in by herself to the studio and she's like, oh guys, I think I've got something, what do you think? She sent it across, we all heard it, it's like, fuck, this is really, really good. But then when we replied back, she was like, no, it's shit, get rid of it. But no, it was really, really good. We all loved it, like the first take. So
it all came out really bloody well. Everybody needs to go out and grab this album. It does drop 25th of April. Can catch you guys on the road at the moment. Go up to the merch desk and buy all the fucking merch from Ghostseeker people. Tim, do you have any last words, shout outs, thank yous, or anything else you want to add in there, mate?
Biggest one is thank you to Ione Heckenberg. This guy has been the absolute backbone of this band since day one. And without him, we wouldn't have what we've got now. So, and any bands looking to record, go see Ione. You won't regret it.
Exactly. Cheers, mate. Everybody go out, grab some Ghostseeker, chuck it in the stereos, crank it up really bloody loud, because the neighbours are going to want to hear it too. Cheers, mate.
Yes, they will.
Oi, you're tuned in to Jai That Aussie Metal Guy, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his sick content. And remember, stay brutal, you legend.